Okay, let's get going. Can everybody hear me okay? It looks like the levels are good, but if there's problems, just let me know. Hello. Okay, so it's been a while. It's been quite some time since the last time I did one of these. Uh, so it's going to be a little bit probably rusty. Holidays happen. Um, but that's okay. We'll all figure it out together. So this is where we left off last time. We've got a ability to draw filled triangles, but now we got to draw shaded triangles. And last time we were having some problems figuring out the edge coefficients and the color formats. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to take what we have and we're going to basically follow this post on the N64 forums about how triangles are drawn. And we're just going to go ahead and make that happen. So without further ado, oh, maybe I should show you the one that works. Right, so this works great, but the shaded example does not work currently. All right, so here we are. See if everybody can read that, hopefully. Okay, so got points, did all this. This is mostly about setting up RDP commands, but we cheated. Alright, so here we go. Gorod shaded triangle. Other modes. Blah, blah, blah. Set combine mode. RGB should be sub A8, sub B8, mul 16, add 4. Alright, well, I think that should be okay already. Okay, so they're all in S1516. 3 different gradients per color: DRDX, DRDY, and DRDE. So basically, DRDY and DRDE are very similar. We think that the only difference is if there's a scissor mode and you clip off some of the edges, then you won't hit the major edge, but you will go down, and so then DRDY will apply, but not DRDE. Not 100% sure that that's true, but close enough. All right, so blah blah blah. All right, so where am I here exactly? Clip YH to previous multiple of 4. Boy, it's been a long time since I wrote this. X major is X1 left shift 16 plus Y2 minus Y1 times X grade 13. So, oh, hello cat. Cat's nipping at my heels here. Ow. Cat's very sharp. Alright, come on up here, buddy. Everyone wants to see you anyway. Observe, he is fluffy. Oh, he's a good boy. He's very bad for productivity. We'll probably kick him out at some point. Ah! God damn it, cat. Alright, you're going outside. Sorry. There you go. Not supposed to show pussy on screen. Har har, Snickers. How you doing? I feel like I haven't seen you, but I haven't been in the Discord as much recently. Been working on other things. Plus holidays, I've been around. Okay, so what am I doing here? DRDE, RGBA. Yeah, we've got this already, don't we? Yeah. X major M. I feel that this is not very helpful somehow. Change R major M. RDE Y. Slide from whatever's on the major line to whatever should be at x2, y2. CR minus CR mage M. Alright, so I think this is basically the inverse of what I want here. The other resource that we have here is Dujo's open source emulator, which is they have very kindly open sourced so that we can all look at what the hell is going on. So let's take a look at that. Process pixel, is that what we want? Hex chords, do X pixel scan buffer, that looks good. Okay, here we are. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we got all this. Cycles max. Okay, so we're going to add, this is just showing adding the RDY at each step. Ah, did I miss the cat? Yes, you did. Hey, what is RDP? RDP is the reality display processor. It's basically the graphics card of the Nintendo 64. Excuse me. It's sort of like half of a graphics card. The RSP, which is the reality signal processor, is the programmable half. And then the RDP is sort of like quasi-programmable. And so basically what we're trying to do here is write a software simulation of the RDP half of that unit. And currently we're trying to get shaded triangles working. Okay, so what am I doing here? While scanline is less than edge coefficients M. Right? Okay, left and right. Sure, we did that. Blah, blah, blah. Shed colors. Left equals 0. Subtract, otherwise add. I am adding it. Does it work in high-level graphics emulation? Eventually, I would like to look at HLE, but currently I'm only doing low-level emulation because I believe in starting with something that's accurate and then sort of improving performance rather than starting with something that's performant and trying to improve accuracy later. See here. RDP.h. So what I'm looking for right now is I'm trying to find where this RGBA color struct is defined, because I want to be able to see what it means to add and subtract it. RGBA color, type def struct, red, green, blue, alpha. Okay, so nothing interesting there. So just advanced stuff, which we did by DRDX right here. Pretty sure I have the color wrong. Where did I get color? 2 RGBA, red, green, blue, alpha. So that's probably wrong. Well, let's take a look at what the output for this thing was. Just slowly trying to slide back into the groove. All right. Shade triangle, these coefficients. 1000F. Let's also pull up Peter Lemon Crom's shaded triangle example, just so that we know what we're trying to make things look like here. Triangle, shaded triangle. Ping. So this is what it's supposed to look like. And what it does look like, if I remove that panic, is it looks like we got that first pixel right probably, but then we don't progress correctly. And actually that may not be correct either. So where's the thing? There's the thing. Okay, so I think I'm probably doing this addition wrong for one thing, because if we take a look at the RDX, it's a U16 and I'm just straight up adding it. Or no, it's a U32 and I'm just adding them, but it's actually a fixed point format, right? So I can't remember whether addition for a signed fixed point format works correctly, but I sort of doubt it. And even if it did, it would be needing to clip down to 16 bits instead of 32 bits. So, how come these are 8s? Really struggling here. I'm just going to return after the first scan line real quick and see what that looks like with just the one row. Okay, well that's not what I expected to see. What dumb thing am I doing here exactly? Index equals scan line as U size times 320 plus X as U size times 4. I mean, that should be right. Hi, Nick. I didn't know you were still working on this. Yeah, I stopped over Christmas and New Year's because I had other things to do. But I'm back now. Continues to be the fact that nothing works, but you know, whatever. We'll get there. Probably. Maybe. Who knows? Alright, so this should break after the first pixel. What the heck? So are half of these triangles just not being drawn as shaded at all? That's interesting. I really screwed the pooch on this somewhere. So we've got draw shade try, and then we should have like a draw regular ass try, right? Shade try, fill rect, fill try, there we go. How have you been, Nick? I feel like I haven't seen you around much, but I haven't really been hanging out in the Emudev Discord nearly as much. What? What? I'm very confused now. Let's just stub out that entire method and see what happens. Been busy playing Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Oh man, I love Age of Empires 2. Okay, so at least that stops. That makes me feel slightly better. Did you see that Ziff tried to leave Lounge to get away from the shitposting, but it just followed him to Emudev instead? Yeah, I did. I don't know. I find it kind of annoying. The bot, in my opinion, just like destroyed Lounge. We need some sort of like shitpost Loungeville. Yeah, that's not gonna work either. What is happening here exactly? So I'm somehow drawing these extra triangles as just pure red. These are all stopping where they're supposed to stop, which is after 1 pixel. So new emulator, is it targeting anything specific, accuracy or performance? It is new. It's all me. It's mostly targeting learning, but primarily accuracy. The intent is to basically start as accurate as possible and then increase performance instead of starting performant and trying to increase accuracy. Oh, I get it. It's because those immediately start on the minor edge. That's what's happening here. Okay, so if I put a return here, then this will not do the thing that it's doing. Okay, there we go. We got 1 pixel per triangle now. Good luck. Thank you, In the Beef. It's nice of you to stop by. Alright, now we're going to break at the end of each scan line. Does N64 have 64-bit addresses? It can. So the CPU that's used is a MIPS VR4300, and it can use 64-bit addresses, but it doesn't have to use 64-bit addresses. There's a mode bit that can be set, and it basically is never used. So pretty much every N64 game that exists, they only use the 32-bit addressing mode. Okay, so I'm doing something wrong here. Format is S1515, according to this dude. Or S1516, rather. Is the name of N64 related with this capability? Yes. But it was mostly a marketing thing, honestly. Like, oh, look at us, we're 64-bit. And I think it's because people knew about like the changes from 8-bit to 16-bit to 32-bit. And so 64-bit was like, ooh, even better. Yeah, definitely a marketing thing. Okay. All right, so my intention here is to add these colors in a more correct way. Yeah, okay, so it's I32, not you. So my goal here is to add these colors in a more correct way and just kind of try to get something that looks approximately right. So let's take a look at what this fool did here. It looks like you really are just adding directly across. So you'd think that that would work, but... Oh, yours are floats. How'd you get to floats? Alright, so where is this called then? Do X pixel scan buffer. You're called right here. So then how do we get shade red and whatnot? Get float value from format, presumably, is what we're looking at. Oh, hey, little bits, thank you for that. That's very much appreciated and certainly not necessary. Integer decimal max. Okay, I don't think this is right. Add signed fixed point numbers. I mean, it's not wrong, it's just that it's not what I want to be doing. You folks can't see it because it's off camera, but I closed the door on my cat because he was being annoying, and now there's just this paw sliding in. Alright, so I do know how fixed point numbers work. Basically, there's a implicit decimal that is used to kind of handle power of 2 decimal numbers. And mostly they just kind of work where you just kind of add them. But the problem is that this is signed. It's a explicit sign bit, and I don't necessarily know how that's supposed to work. I think what I'm going to do, yeah, because this is just Q2, Q3. I think what I'm going to do is just do if x and 8 billion. Is that too many zeros? No. And if y and, there should be an ampersand. We're gonna do let working x equal x and 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Working y is greater than 0. Or no, is not equal to 0. Then we're going to do, oh, and we should make these mutes if we're going to do it. Okay. Somewhat late 3-month-olds pick the most inconvenient time to need feeding. I imagine that that is true. What am I looking for here exactly? Completely forgotten. Draw, shade, try. There we go. Alright, and then instead of plus equal, we're going to do equal, add FP colors, red, shade coefficients. And then hopefully, I don't think so. Hopefully this will straighten things out and we'll get a line that looks approximately correct. And if not, we'll just need to keep tweaking it until we figure out what it is that we're doing wrong. I should probably change FP because fixed point and Floating point are both FP? Ah, oh no, I hit caps lock and now Vim is trying to kill me. Okay, there we go. How many megabytes is the binary exe of the current project? Interesting question. I have not looked at that at all. Let me, real quickly. Oh, wow, you can tell I haven't been writing Rust lately either. That's not how data types work at all. Oh, you bastards. Alright, fine. If x is less than 0. If y is less than 0. How about that? Happy now? It's magic, you know. Yeah, if you do exclamation point magic in the chat, you will be greeted with an explanation of why it's called that. Alright, so I'm going to build this as release because I was asked how big it is, and I got curious. So as soon as this is done building, we'll find out. Cool trivia. Yeah, thanks. I mostly got it from the book Cryptonomicon by Neil Stephenson, which is excellent. In my opinion, his books are of somewhat inconsistent quality, but that one's very good. If you were looking for something fun to read. Being Rust is going to be fucking huge. I mean, probably not that big. Is this related to the CIA's MK Ultra program? No, distinct. Ultra was the British code breaking in Enigma. I don't know why the CIA named it MK Ultra. Maybe they were big Mortal Kombat fans. I somewhat regret doing this. This I will cop to as a big Rust problem is how long it takes to build a fresh build. I guess I have never built this project as release before. Oops. I don't read for fun often. I read for fun a lot. I was looking at my Kindle the other day, and I happened to know that I had looked at a particular book 12 weeks ago, and I had 83 books that had been read in that period of time. I think that might be a slight overestimate, but only slight. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it probably will be huge because I'm pulling in the whole WGPU and all this junk. Okay, goodbye. Where is it? Target, release, build. Or no, I guess it's in examples, huh? Shadetriangle.exe. So this example is 3.8 megabytes. Could probably read a quick one while waiting for Rust C. You are not wrong. Okay, do your thing. Alright, well that doesn't look better. But let's let it draw the whole triangle and just see what we get out of that. Okay, the other cat is now sticking his paw under the door. Oh good, they're all black. Awesome. There's a couple little specks of green, I think, in there somewhere. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of everybody that's not red, I think. That looks like Crom's test. Yes, it is indeed Crom's test. What is going on here? Color to RGBA. I32 to U8 color. I don't know why that needs to be an extra call. Self. from the past, but okay. I-32 to U8, that doesn't sound right. It's basically breaking apart, or yeah, that's probably wrong. I'm gonna guess that that's not correct because I'm passing in the S1516, and then I'm trying to squash it into a U8 so that I can turn it into an RGBA 32. So that's probably not right. It's probably supposed to be 16 for one thing. And then again, if color less than 0, return color and 0x7 FFF negative right shift 16 as U8. See how that goes. The first functional release of an N64 emulator was in 1999 and had 377 kilobytes. I'm very curious about how it can be so small. So I think what you're talking about is, what's it called, Ultra 64, and that was a very different approach. Instead of running the N64, no, that didn't help. Instead of running the N64, oh well, for one thing, this is too short. Gosh darn it, what am I trying to say? Instead of running the N64, like emulating the hardware, what it did was it emulated the N64 operating system. So that's why it was able to run at a very small code footprint. It was taking on a rather different task. What am I doing here exactly? So I feel like the colors should not be negative. Probably. So let's see if they are. And thanks to it, we don't have many LLE N64 emulators. Well, wasn't it also like a huge problem because wasn't it also like a huge problem because it was based on the leaked SGI docs, and so like anything that used it was tainted and whatnot? I've heard that. I don't know how necessarily accurate it is. The Oman archives, yeah. Talk about being immortalized. Alright, so still stuck getting colors to be colors. Integer plus decimal divided by decimal max. Okay, so you're just turning them directly into floats. People in the N64 Discord refer to them like they are the satanic text. Yeah, no kidding. People are very dramatic about that kind of thing. Yeah, they didn't. They had access to leaked documentation. Someone named Oman basically like stole a bunch of documentation from SGI. it was still very hard to do. Yeah, no kidding. Alright, so drawing a shaded triangle with these coefficients. We start with red as 0, red as 0. Do red dx as negative something. At least I think so. Is that like a very small negative number? I don't think this actually makes any sense. And then dg dx. Change this to green. Are this leaked stocks on any web page? They aren't hard to find. That is true. Oh, I took out my panic. What is the clip space of N64? I don't know. Because I don't actually know graphics that well. So I don't necessarily know what that means. Alright, so we've got drawing pixel as FF. Well, that doesn't seem right, does it? Oh no, okay, so that's black. FF is black. We start with green as 1, which is what it should be. We've got green right here. Comes in here. Goes into I32 to U8 color green. Color is not less than 0. Color right shift 16 as U8 should be not 0. So maybe I need to break this out a little bit more. I'm a little bit confused. I'm sure I just did something dumb. I wonder how many dots there are that have fallen off the back of trucks. It's an interesting question. I don't know. It's tricky for me to believe that a lot of the things that are illegal are illegal. I'm dumb is the answer to just about every programming error. True dat. So, hang on. Where am I getting this? Drawing a shade triangle with these coefficients. Green fraction. Okay, so because this is actually too big. That's what's happening here. But then how are you supposed to convert? It can't possibly be 64 bits per pixel. That would be insanity. So is it just like how do you convert a 16-bit color to an 8-bit color? I feel like Bu just wrote an article about this. Okay, well, you get to cheat, I guess. Yeah, you just wrote a thing. Oh, there it is, color emulation. Vue knows all sorts of stuff. This would cause whites to become gray. If ones are filled in, then blacks are too light. The source bit should repeat. This is the opposite problem that I have. Isn't color conversion just a fixed point multiplication? I mean, probably. I don't actually know that much about color spaces and stuff. I'm probably overcomplicating it. Alright, so instead of as you wait, my eyes are twitching. Okay, so if I've got this coming in, right, 100 in the integer point, 0 in the fractional point, that means that this is 256 out of 65535. And so then times 256. Wait, no. Hang on. What? Shit. Does that mean we want it to be 1? Do I just need to shift it farther? That doesn't really seem right, but it is doing approximately the right thing. 2, 4. Yeah, okay. Well, let's get rid of the explicit panic and see what we get now. That feels too easy somehow, but whatever. I'll take it if it works. Hey, what the heck? Alright. Let's go back to panicking at the end of the scan line and see what we've got. Is red declared as mutable? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. Gonna be annoyed. Alright, so starting at the top. Now we hear. Okay, so we got 100, 0, 0, 0. 0, 0, 1, 1, FF. That is what it should be. Green is 2, 2 FF. Show me the thing we're trying to draw again. So it does look like green is increasing linearly in the way that it should be. So that's good. Yes, become my subscriber and you can get these incredible emotes as well. Alright, so what happened here? It looks like green fell off the end of the map. And then I think because red is supposed to decrease over time, that's probably... Yeah, okay. So I think all the things that I'm doing to like go out of my way to handle fixed point differently are just flat out wrong. Because I don't think it's actually a sign bit in the way that it is described by that one guy. I think it's just regular old 2's complement. Ten messages were deleted by a moderator. That seems like a lot. Sorry, link fee. We don't allow links in this channel. I may change that rule at some point, but that's where I'm at right now. Okay, these kind of look better. They don't look like zeros anymore. What if we let it draw? Seems a bit silly to delete every message, though. I agree with that. I don't know why it did that. It surprised me. Okay, so now we're back to where we were earlier. Oh yes, ultra64.ca does indeed have all of those things. All right, so that's exactly where I started today, which is that I'm just shifting by 24 and whatnot. And so I think the next thing that should happen is I think I'm supposed to adjust these things before I render. Like right here. I'm learning Rust currently. My objective for this year is a Game Boy emulator. If you haven't been to the Discord, the emulator Discord, that's an excellent place to pick the brains of people who have done this sort of thing a lot more than I have. I think I'm not doing these correctly because I think drdx is probably, or no, there is a fractional bit. It's right there. So let's put red back in here. drdx is the change in r as a red as a function of x. So every time we increment the x position, we should change the red color value by that much. And so ff6, ff1, cc. Did we ever get to a red that is more reasonable? Don't think that we do. Shrink, 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 shrink. It's like we are getting less red, but we never quite get to 0 red, which is what we should be getting to. So something is going wrong in this conversion process. Where we add the DRDX. We're not handling that right. The DRDX value is like -3, right? Because it's FB. Too many. FFFB. It's -5. Okay, which makes sense. And we start at 0. And so we wrap back around to -5. Is DRDX calculated on the distance from the other vertices? Sort of. So the way that this works. Oops, that's part 2. We want part 1. The way that this basically works here is you are given these edge functions from the triangle drawing command. And for each edge, you have change in whatever characteristic over that edge. Does that make sense? So as you walk across, you have DRDX, and then as you walk down, you have DRDY. Yeah, instead of vertices, you get edge functions, which is like one level lower down. Typically, edge function rendering is like what GPU units do under the hood, is my understanding. And so because of how the RCP works, the N64 graphics card, the RSP gets vertices, and it crunches them up into edge functions and passes the edge functions to the RDP. But because of this weird split in functionality, it's actually programmer visible, these edge functions, which would normally kind of show up under the hood. Did that make sense? I hope that wasn't too weird. Maybe I just want these guys to be U's instead of I's. Do you think that's what I'm messed up on? That these just don't want to be signed? Oops, blew up all sorts of stuff because I changed some stuff. Okay. Let's just make all of these U32. Yes, hello, cat. I know you're very upset. I mean, none of this is necessary at all. All this can just stay as red. Add FP colors. Again, we don't actually need this. We can go back to plus equals. Alright, let's see what we get. Getting used to the Rust compiler being really antsy about conversions was fun coming from C. Yeah, definitely. That's one of the major changes. Attempt to add with overflow. Oh, bite me. Speaking of things that Rust is more pedantic about than C. For your own good, though. Yeah, definitely, but it's so irritating. Alright, well, that didn't really seem to do much, did it? Okay, so D word. 0 plus F, 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 B. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sure. Yeah, I think I'm just doing this wrong because if I had... What's the ratio between 60536 and 256? Oh, that's not right. It's 256. So if I had negative 5 divided by 256, then yeah, it would still be 255. What the hell, man? Where do we get shades the RDX? It's passed in. Comes from this. Same old, same old. If we look at the DRDX, FFFB, got a DGDE. And no fractions. So we're supposed to fade red from all to none, and we're supposed to fade G from none to all. Do I just have my, like, edge coefficients wrong? Maybe? This must be so uninteresting to watch, just me reading documentation. But you know what? Whatever. Okay, so what are you showing me here? Okay, so we start with the G full and the rest at 0. Minus 5.12. That doesn't seem right. This is the fraction. So there is supposed to be, for one thing, a fractional component. And then we're supposed to be subtracting by, like, more than we are, I guess. So I must have my, maybe I have my command parsing wrong. Shade coefficients. There we go. Let's close up these two and snap this Okay, so here's what we're looking at. This is right here. This one, value. Okay, and we're looking specifically. We are here for science. Nah, it's great to watch. There's so much rockstar rehearsed programming streamed as opposed to this, which is what it's actually like in the real world. Staring at the same code for hours and hours, wondering what you're doing with your life for the win. I mean, I don't know about for the win exactly. I would rather just get it right, but I appreciate the supportive words. Okay, so this looks right to me. 16, 32, 48, 64. Red, green, blue. So we got that right. The RDX, it looks like we have correct. Red fraction, it looks like we have correct. The RDX fraction, did I screw it up here? I forgot, what are you writing now? An N64 emulator or a plugin that you'll eventually use in your own emulator? A plugin I will eventually use in my own emulator. Or, if you want to think about it differently, I'm writing my own emulator starting with the RDP. Okay. Self.red as U32 left shift self-red frac. In the future with RDP, will you be able to load a 3D model from the N64? Yes. Alright, so if we look at this, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh no, there's a leading 0. 3, 4, 4, 4. Maybe I should just print out all those datas. Or actually, I guess I can just and look at rdplist.log. Oh yeah, that's what this is. Okay, that's not that interesting. That's it? That doesn't seem right. Is it backwards? It's backwards. Or something. This is not very helpful. Okay, I'm just going to print out all the things that I read. What do you think about people that wrote emulators in Minecraft? That looks insane. I think they're insane. I mean, whatever brings you joy in this world of ours, honestly. Oh, yeah, my bad. If making emulators in Minecraft makes you happy, go for it, man. But I could never do that personally. It seems like a ton of work for not a lot of real benefit. Uh? Oh, because I'm an idiot. Okay. That would have been very bad and confusing. Oop. Okay. Try that again. Oop. Right. Yes. 0, 0. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. What's this? Crumbs. Whatever. Imagine making a university final project about emulators in Minecraft. I would take it if I was a professor. I'd be all about that. Yeah, that's not useful. I mean, how far across is this triangle? We start at 2550 and we end at 7450, which means it's 25 pixels across. So the most that it could do, even if that was treated as like, these just seem like they're not, they need to be multiplied by 16 or 17. But I don't want to just do that. That seems like cheating. Maybe I should do it anyway, though. Because we need to fade from... Yeah, okay, I'll do that. Why not? Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're just going to change DRDX to 24 instead of 16 right there. And then we get what? FB, F6, F1. Yeah, so that makes sense now. Like, that works. No, that doesn't make sense. But anyway, let's take out the panic. I guess. Attempted to add with overflow at 552. Yep. All right, well, that's different, at least. Okay, here's what we're going to do now. I prefer that over what it's meant to be. I agree with you. X as U32, left shift 24, or frac as U32. That's a 6, not a 4, but okay. And then we're going to take this function and we're going to call it on all of these. And also, I'm pretty sure this is right, so I'm just going to change all of these at this point. Oops. There we go. Okay, so then for drdx, we're just going to return fp2u32 self.drdx self.drdx frac. And then we're going to do that for green. And we're going to do it for blue. And we're going to do it for alpha, even though alpha shouldn't matter. And then I guess we're going to do it for the Y's also. And this way I can change them all at once if I decide that I want to change how things are represented. Oh, I forgot to change everything else to U32s. How's that? Better? Not quite. Oh, because add FP colors is wrong too. What text editor is that? Vim. Whoa, trippy. That's pretty cool. But hey, what's important is that the first line correctly flows from red to green. If we look at Chrom's output here, that is correct all the way across here. And on this one also. So that's good. And on this one, it almost looks like it's correct, going from blue to green on the bottom. So this suggests to me that my problem is likely Y related. The first bits are wrong here, which is interesting, but must be doing something right then. Yeah, I guess so. I really hate this like let's just poke it until it looks about right kind of style of programming, but at a certain point just got to get over myself and make it work, and then I can go and ask people more specific questions later. All right, let's see here. God, eyes really bugging me. Dx dy. My edge coefficients are right because we already did that. I changed the dy stuff also, I think. Oh, that's right. We decided that we needed to change these first. So let's do that. What was that even in? Is that in anything? Confused. Yeah, okay, so it's in this loop. So we're just going to go ahead and pop you right in there. Don't ask how to do it right, do it wrong first. Yeah, that's pretty good advice. It's not at all how I like live my life generally, but it still is good advice. I'm not doing DE at all, so that probably hurts. I forget what the along the edge doesn't mean anything, but whatever. If edge condition, then add the thing. I'm just gonna do it at the same time that I do the dy's, and I should be able to get relatively close. E, 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 E. Oh wait, is that right? Yeah, it is. Okay, good. This should explode at some point, I feel like. There should be like a wrapping add problem. Maybe not, I don't know. I feel like it should. Find out. Let's go. Nope. Dottie. There's no D alpha DE. I don't have a D edge coefficients call yet. That's surprising. I guess it's not that surprising. Yeah, so we're just gonna go ahead and do YDEG, and then right and go. Now what? Oh, it exploded. Hey, look, attempt to add with overflow. What did I tell you? 599. That feeling where you just fix problems as they come up instead of fixing them in all the obvious places they'll eventually come up later. Oops, no, did not want to do that. Double tapped Alt. 598. This is not usually how I do things, just slam into errors over and over again, but ooh, pretty. Categorically worse, but pretty. The very first line is still correct, but then it like swaps up to about halfway, and then it like jumps back. Why do we get these weird striations here? That looks cooler than the correct output. I mean, I definitely agree with that. It's not going to help me play Super Mario 64, but, you know. The bottom lines are correct, too. Mostly. They have a little bit of weirdness in the top left corner. Or in the bottom left corner, rather. And then these are obviously wrong, also. They're like light blue instead of dark blue. Okay, so why would this happen? I'm going to start printing out only the first one. Is your Y correct and your X wrong? I don't think so. I mean, it's possible, but I don't really think so. Goof something up. I want to see if scan line is greater than 2 return. Oh, yeah. Rust. Okay, so now we get only the first 2 lines. Or maybe 3 lines? That looks right, though. So that's odd. I wonder if I'm like drawing things too many times or something? Like I'm somehow looping over that scan line more than once? I think it's about 25 tall. No, it's probably more than that. I must be changing the wrong thing. What? I got something really weird going on. Its scan line is supposed to be from the top of the screen. Yes, you are correct. That is why. Thank you. Okay. Which is why we only draw one. Okay, that makes sense to me. Where are these triangles? I think they're at like 50. Good looking out, Danny Fritz. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay, so I want only 2 lines, which means I want this to be greater than 51, I guess? Oh, I'm on the wrong branch, that's why. Okay. Alright, so there's 2 rows. And now I would like to not continue, but instead panic so that I can look at the numbers without a whole bunch of other stuff scrolling by. I guess I could always actually log stuff, but... Oh. Pro tip, don't put your panic under a return or it'll never get hit. Okay, come on. Alright, there we go. Okay, so... Where's the transition? It's going to be right about here. Yep. Alright, so we're right here. Red is 6F. That doesn't seem right, but okay. Yeah, that doesn't seem right at all, actually. Oh no, red is 6. Okay, actually, yes, that does make sense. And so does that. I don't know where we get blue from. I must be applying one of them too soon. Which blue is non-zero? 5. Okay. So maybe the DEs go at the bottom and the DYs go at the top? I don't think that makes sense though. Whatever. Okay, so choo 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 choo. Alright, so here we are. So red is 0. And then it comes back. I wonder... Huh. It sort of seems like maybe I'm applying one too few of the X ticks. Is the left 0 important? Yes. I should definitely go through and change all of my sharp X's to be sharp 8X or whatever. Yeah, so then this becomes 0 and then it wraps around to FC. which does make sense to me if I just like did one more tick. I wonder, actually, wait, hang on. I wonder if I need to sort of reset. I wonder what would happen if instead of doing it in this like incremental fashion, I did it with a lookup. So that instead of adding the x's all the way across and then jumping back, that I reset to 1 every time. And then added E and Y times the scan line offset from the start. I bet that's it. I bet that's what's going on now. I'm not sure that made a lot of sense, like out loud, but it made sense to me. Yeah, I bet that's it. Okay, I'm almost sure that's what the problem is. I do need to fix it. I am going to just take a real quick break, get a coffee refill, things like that. Enjoy this animation of my half-ass SNES emulator, or not SNES, regular NES, displaying what I like to call cursed Donkey Kong. And I'll be back in, I don't know, 5 minutes. I am back. I have fed my cats. I have cough-feed myself. I have discovered that I badly need a haircut. Let's get back to it. Thank you so much, Linkfee, if you're still here. I really appreciate you coming by and checking out the stream. I hope that we will see you again sometime. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Is we're just going to give up entirely on incrementalness. Incrementality? Whatever. Doing things incrementally. So we're going to just comment out a bunch of this junk and a bunch of this junk. Okay, so we're going to do let red equal x minus left times dr dx plus scanline minus I guess YH whole pixel divided by 4 times shade coefficients dr dy plus this exact same thing except with dr de semicolon green G blue alpha, even though we don't use it at all currently. Alright. And then we take all of this junk, go over here. I really should be able to collapse these loops into one thing. Maybe I'll try to figure that out at the end if this works. I should be able to remove a lot of this unnecessary redundancy. How's that gonna go? Nope. Yeah, didn't think so. What is causing you to think that I'm an I-32 exactly? 4x in left, right, edge coefficients, right major. HX pix, else MX pix comes from HX, which comes from edge coefficients XH. Hub XH. Or no, fun XH. Again, I just sort of don't think that these are I's at all, so we're just going to get rid of them. Should probably make sure that I didn't just break my regular. I mean, if it doesn't compile, it won't run either, but. Oops, there's an underscore instead of a dot. Oops. Go, 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 go. Ugh, come on. Okay, so you're upset because of the 16 times 32 nonsense. Who is the 16? The scan line, I guess? Z32. I mean, this should all just work, honestly. Oh, this is the wrong place. This one. Add Z32. Fill triangle, shade triangle. And then there's going to be an equal problem here, which is ym. Add Z32. For crying out loud. Add Z32. Add Z32. Are you done now? Okay, did I break this one? Attempt to add with overflow 525. Huh? Wonder why that happened suddenly. It's worrying. Probably shouldn't screw with that, but alright, screw it. Multiply with overflow. Oh, for crying out loud. How do you set it so that everything is just always overflowing all the time? Or always wrapping? Rust. All arithmetic wrapping. I know there's like a thing. There's like a tag that you could put on. I certainly don't want to do this. I mean, I guess I could just run it in. Oh, here we go. Shebang overflow checks. I don't think that's what it is. All right, whatever. I'm just gonna run it as release. Let's see what I get. Oh, I'm getting a phone call is what I'm gonna get. Well, those are pretty and closer. I must still be returning early somewhere. Just go ahead and delete a bunch of this junk. Okay. Get rid of all of this junk. Oh. Okay, well, yeah, that'll probably be wrong. Well, no, maybe not. Scan line. First scan line. Okay, so let's see what's right now. We're getting closer. It's like we're drawing a bunch of half triangles correctly. So this one, that's correct. That's pretty much correct, except that it starts a little late, right? Like if we look at the output here, it's just like crunched over, which is a bit odd. I wonder why that. Oh, I'm not adding the initial value, so that doesn't help, for one thing. Uh, completely lost the plot. Alright, where's the thing that I'm looking for here? We're supposed to start at shade coefficients dot red, I think. Right? Thin red. Yep. Okay. And then shade coefficients dot green. Shade coefficients dot blue. I feel like I'm misspelling that every time. Shade coefficients dot alpha. And then we're just gonna yoink. Blip. Blip. If you get to it, do me a favor and see if you can sync color combiner results with the console results. All the emulator's graphic plugins seem to have different results. Maybe Angerline is better though. Later in dev, I mean. Okay. Well, that didn't change much. They are looking pretty cool. I've drawn a lot of really cool shit. It's just that it's wrong. If scan line minus first scan line is greater than 2, return. Or no, not return. Panic. Because again, I want to look at the actual numbers. Kablam. Okay, so scroll up, scroll up. I should probably be piping this to a text editor somewhere. Okay. So here we are. Wait a minute. Well, I'll think about that later. So okay, so red gets to 0, green gets to FC, which is close. Red jumps back to FB, which does seem correct. F6. I mean, that seems pretty much like it's correct, except that the thing that it's drawing is obviously wrong. $25.52 is F70AFF. Okay, well, yeah, that's wrong. And then it jumps up. That's weird. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I bet this fixes that weird line on the edges, but doesn't actually do much for the other problem. I forgot to turn off the panics. Yep, fixed the weird line on the edge, didn't fix the other problem. In RGB, where do you get yellow? Blue and green, I guess? I swear I remember Dude Joe hitting exactly this state. Okay, so I was right about that. Red and green make yellow? Okay, I guess that makes sense. So if we look at the beginning of this line, we should have too much green, I guess. Yeah, red is F, green is FC. And then green becomes 1. And that happens because what? Green starts at 1 and gets added 2. So it should always start at 1. Oh, and then this green edge coefficient is negative. So that would suggest that I'm wrong. And that my initial let it wrap around and fix itself thing was correct. Because otherwise, why would it subtract? Wait, that's only 5. 0, so it would be 5 less as it goes down. Okay. DGDE. Forgot to turn off the panics. Well, that ain't right. It looks cool though. Okay, so this is firmly in the realm of screw with it and hope it works. But let's see what we get from this. Oops. Nope. I have a theory. Because if we look at that drawing, this drawing, it shows the y's as being 4 times as much as the x's in terms of coordinates. Or something like that, right? Like these are all subpixels. So maybe I want the how is the background made orange with a fill rectangle command? Or no, it would be 26, right? Something like that. Nope, made it worse. Maybe it's 22 instead. Nope. Oh boy, hang on. So do I even have y coefficients? I completely forget. Yeah, that was dumb. One more again. Okay, goodbye. Alright, so do any of these even have dy coefficients? No, no they don't. Not for this first thing. So I'm thinking that the x stuff might be subpixel, or no. Man, really on the struggle bus today. Alright, so what if we make all of the edge ones this way and leave all the Y ones the other way? I'm doing something very wrong here. I need to stop just like poking shit and hoping that it works. Green should have 5 subtracted every time as it walks down, and it should eventually get to 0. Just like Y should have 5 added, or have 5, Y should have 5 subtracted every time as it goes across. The only difference is that green starts with the 1 up here. And so it only wants to be subtracted from like the regular amount. Whereas X okay. Here's what we're going to do. My bad. P. Okay, we're going to leave Y and X there, and we're going to put him here. Hello, cat. And you are X. And you are Y. And you are E. And then whoa. What cool patterns this makes. Okay, so the Y stuff doesn't matter because it's all 0. What I'm seeing now, if we look at this triangle, is that only the X seems to be happening. And it seems to be the same for every step. Right? Like it's just, there's a straight vertical line right here, halfway across the triangle. And then here it follows the slope, which is what you would expect because it starts over at the beginning every time over here. maybe I'm so not doing the stream thing correctly anymore. I'm just like saying half sentences. Sorry. So here's what I'm thinking currently. Maybe the problem is that when I reset, right? So I'm resetting to the starting value every time, except that maybe the starting value isn't relative to the left side of the triangle. It's relative to the left side of the box. I don't actually think that makes any sense. Hang on, let me look at this again. And then what are we looking at on Chrom's side? This is horizontally. Yeah, there's quite a few very pretty triangles that happen here. I'm trying to just like think about this triangle right here and say, okay, what would cause this to happen? And what this basically looks like is that the reset happens at the wrong spot every time, because you jump back, but then you finish out, right? Like you go to the end of here before you loop back around the next time. Which suggests that probably I was right the first time to accumulate. How did the other triangles end up with pink corners? Good question. It's a little bit different because they are like different majorness. Oops, sorry, GitHub. Yeah, red and blue is pink. I think. All right. Just sent him this stream. Thanks, Butch33KS. I've talked to Crom Peter Lemon on the Emulator Discord quite a bit. Never seen him stop by for one of these streams, but you can find that Discord at the link that I just posted in chat with the help of the bot. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to turn these triangles off. And then in these, total x plus equal 1. And we're going to replace this with total x. Crom is a great guy. Yeah, seems to be. Very helpful, very knowledgeable. Took the time to make these test ROMs and stuff. Hey, look. I'm back to even more wrongness. Hi, Crom. Do you know what I'm doing wrong? Because I don't. I'm very confused. No, just joined. Just heard you are online now. Trying to make this, actually making this. Looks close. You're very generous. um, I'm thinking I maybe have a problem with like subpixel units. That's kind of where my head's at right now. So if we look at this diagram, right, there are pixels, but then there's also these quarter pixel subpixel things, right? And so when I look at the dx dy, not that one, this one. When I look at like dx dy, the RDX rather, I'm wondering, it says change in red per change in x coordinate, but it's not indicating which kind of x coordinate, whether that's a pixel or a subpixel or what. It says XM and XH are on pixel resolution, but then XL is on subpixel. So if it was right, because these XL, X coordinate of low edge integer, X coordinate of low edge fraction. And the fraction, there's 8 or 16 bits worth of fraction. I think it's just per pixel. Also need to check if it is changing red along major axis, etc. Or major edge, etc. So here's what I'm doing right now. I'm setting red equals red plus x plus 1 minus left. So that's the x offset into the scan line, times the shade coefficients, the RDX, plus the scan line down that we're at, times shade coefficients, the RDY, plus scan line down that we are, times the RDE, because the edge and the scan line are basically the same thing. I know there's like a subtle difference, but it's not clear what it is. And like, sounds right, but it's not, because I'm getting this funky result, right? So so then when I look at it, right, if I log it for a second, kill it, and take a look. So we start out with red of 0, green of 256, and then this drdx is -5, except that if you subtracted -5, this would roll over. When this rolls over, it rolls over to 65535, or just whatever. But then when you subtract 5 from that, it will just stay red all the way across, because this is only correct for um, it's like a 256. It should wrap around to 256, but it doesn't because it's a 16-bit value. And this is -6 or -5. So that doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So I was just changing this to be, instead of left shift by 16, left shift by 24. And that gets me results that look better. Let me just open a third window. Whoops. Magic. Magic. Right, so if I changed it to the 24 version, then at least the X looks better, right? Like across the triangle, it looks approximately correct. Not 100%. But on the other hand, green starts at 25 or 256. So when you start subtracting 5 from green, it needs to actually be 5. It can't be super 5 or whatever. Super not explaining this well. Blue seems like it ought to work, but it doesn't seem to be working. Where even is blue in this? There's just no blue, which doesn't make sense to me. There should be some blue. I'll see if I can break my demo down for you. I'm checking it out now. See if I can get it to just run one. Nope. I only want one triangle. Let me just hack that in real quick. Let mute scene equals false. If not seen, do this. And set scene equals true. Okay, so now we should just get the one triangle. Main thing to know is what the major edge on each triangle and whether it is right major or left major. So I do know whether it's, like, I should know all of those things, I think. Okay, so we go across, and blue is always 0. I should probably just add blue to the print. Okay, so blue is 0. And then when we get to line 51, blue should become not 0. And it does, which is good. However, it doesn't become not 0 enough, for lack of a better term. So in order to make that work, it would need the edge number, which is where blue gets its juice from, right? Which is 5, but is currently being rendered as hang on, what? So d blue DE is 5, which means we should end up with 5 and then 4 zeros. And we do. But then when we pass it into U32 to U8 color input, that's a 0. Right. If we make this a 24, so now we have some blue, but our red is all screwy. I mean, our red was screwy before, I guess, because the red should be decreasing. I think maybe I just am screwing up, and like when it wraps around, it's like it needs to wrap to 256. I mean, I really just think I'm doing color math wrong, honestly. Like, that's what I've come down to. So what if we make all of these back to 16s? But then in here, what is the DED red? There isn't one. So I am supposed to accumulate. This is all wrong. Because there's no other way to not have full red on the left every time, which is not, obviously not correct. Okay. So now if we look at this, I think maybe my conversion is wrong. Right here. Because we want to go, I think we want to right shift by 16. And then divide by 256. Which is of course the same. Drawing pixel as FFFB00FF. That's RGB. G is too much. Oh, whoops. Sorry, Crom. I'm going to turn that off. Hang on. Let me just disable the no mo links command. Yeah, okay. Spam protection, links off. How can I untime out you? I don't understand Twitch at all. Oh well. How do I... I'm very confused. Oh, there we go. How do I would like to turn that off, please. Untime out. There we go. Okay. Why does it delete comments that aren't linked? I don't know. I just turned off the link moderation entirely. It's dumb. I don't have enough viewers for that to be a real problem, honestly. Okay. So green is obviously wrong here now. Should I try and post the link again? Yeah, it should be fine now. I turned off the moderation. I do wonder whether it will be already open in a tab, though. Let's see. Hey, is it this one? It is this one. Yep. This looks helpful, but seems to be the opposite of helpful. Or like, it's backwards, right? It's doing the opposite thing. It's saying, I want to figure out how to draw a triangle. How do I craft the correct command? I also don't think... I don't know. I don't think that this S1516 thing is correct either. What was I saying? So as FF, correct. FB, not correct. So how do we get to FB? It starts as 100, and then we subtract. Well, we've got 16s here. And then, whoa, hi, bud. S1516 just means signed 16-bit integer, 16-bit fraction. Yeah, I know, but the way that it's described, it sounds like a signed bit, which is not what it is. It's 2's complement in the normal way. But anyway, maybe it's just a confusing wording. So I get in here. I should have the correct value, and then D, G, D, E. Cat, I need you to not be sitting right in the way of the code. I'm sorry. You're very fluffy. The people love you, but you can't sit in front of the screen right now. Here, sit in the cat chair. Whoa. Hello, everyone. Hi, Zorchenheimer. Thank you. We're petting my cat. That's what this stream is now. It's just pet the cat. No, we're writing an N64 RDP emulator plugin, at least in theory. Currently, we are struggling. We're on a big struggle bus with the. Oh, okay, goodbye. We're on a big struggle bus with the shaded triangle portion of our program. We're trying to render this image and we're just not getting there at all. Green is +5. Maybe I just want to mask the top bits off completely. Alright, let's do this. Left shift 24, right shift 16. Thank you so much, Zorchenheimer, for the raid. What brings you by? I'm gonna lurk for a bit so I can eat, but I should be back. Okay, sure. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, bringing everybody with you. For those of you who this is your first time at my stream, which is probably most of you. Oh, no, that's not right. This is intended to be a development stream for an N64 emulator, which is what I'm working on. Oh, that's too many, that's why. I am trying to get it to draw a Gouraud shaded triangle set. And based on a... No, that's not right either. Based on a test ROM by Peter Lemon, who's in chat. It's supposed to draw this image. It doesn't currently, and I'm almost certain that I'm just screwing up like the color math somewhere. Like, I think the fundamental algorithm I basically understand. It's just a question of like, how do I convert the various fixed point numbers into something I can actually draw. I think I'm doing that incorrectly. so am I still logging? I am. All right, let's look at the logs real quick. U32 to U8 color input. Okay, no, you know what? Hang on, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna revert this. I think I just put this in the wrong place. I think when we draw colors, we're gonna want it to just be color, left shift 8, right shift 24 as U8. And that'll just clip the bits off the top, preserve the sign. Nope, it's all orange, and it only changes vertically. Oh boy, I kind of thinking I need to call this pretty soon and get some dinner. This would be kind of a sucky time to call it, but oh well, part of the problem might be that red doesn't go through this call. As U32. Okay, so now red looks like all the other ones. And I hope that watching me just kind of struggle for a while is not going to be too uninteresting for folks. I'm a little bit, I don't know, self-conscious about that, but I have been reliably informed that watching people struggle is interesting, so that's what I'm gonna do, is struggle. It's always fun watching people struggle. Thanks. Alright, so what do we have here? Red is 0. It turns into FB. Green is 100. It turns into 5. Blue is 0. How come that's not changing? Oh, because this is in the wrong loop. Ding dong. Struggle forward. Thank you, Hayes Anderson. Hey, we're back to where I started. Okay, so the first row is basically correct, as far as I can tell, but then it falls apart. All right, so now we've got FB50, F6A0. Is the first row correct? I don't think it does change dramatically, but let's see here. No, that looks like blending to me. It's kind of hard to tell. It's pretty small. I should probably blow this up a little bit more. I got a new giant 4K monitor, which is great, but it does mean certain things are now smaller than they once were. Yeah, so it is shading across, so you can look at the values that it's drawing and see that they change more or less properly over time. Blah, 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 blah. And so when we go down and we get to the next row, we'll see what we get. So we're drawing this. We get 6. And then one FA05 RGB. So that didn't change at the right time, it looks like. Because it should be, red should be back around to max, but it's only at 1. I gotta fix this. So I think it's X8. Let's find out. Nope. 8X. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that'll help. First row looks correct to me. It looks correct to me too, Crom. Okay. It doesn't seem like it helped. I was probably at the wrong spot, huh? Oh no, it needs to be 10, that's why. Because of the 0x. That's why it needs to be 10. And now we should get, no, wrong. Oops. I think it maybe needs to start with a 0. Am I converting RGB to HSI? No, I'm not doing that at all. 08. I don't know enough about color spaces to even like consider doing that. Basically, so here's the thing. The units of everything in the N64's color world are they're 32-bit fixed point. So it's 1616. And the way that you render color obviously is not that. It's a 32-bit. You know, you wait. But then I don't know how to get from one to the other because I don't really understand color math. Okay, so we seem to be applying the increment of total x too early. First of all, am I doing a microarchitecture level emulation or simulating the behavior of a particular microcode? The former, I suppose. It's not exactly how I would have phrased the question, but yeah, I'm emulating the RDP, not the RSP, currently. All right, so what do we got here? Okay, so now pixel at 74. Oh no, I made it worse. How did that happen? That's a bit odd. Okay. 74 is 06. Now, if I were to initialize it to 1, would that be better? Doesn't really make sense, but do it anyway. Okay, there we go. And now we get FCFF, blah, blah, blah. Except, why are you solid green? You shouldn't be solid green. Green should also have wrapped around. Zero one FF 00. This is FC FF 05. Why did that happen? Because the GDX is 5. So it should have wrapped back around to 0 because it was at FB, and then we add 5 to it. There's like another increment every scan line. Then we get F70405, which is correct. Right? That seems right to me. Then the Y is going to decrease, or the R is going to decrease as the G increases over all of this pixelity. And then at some point, again, we get to 70 something. 72, which is 12. I'm doing something very wrong. Keep spelling A-Waggle wrong. That's okay. People spell it wrong. People pronounce it wrong. People get it wrong in all sorts of ways. I was a regular in Mitch Flower Power's Twitch stream for a while, and he kept calling me Ogle. And I was like, whatever. Maybe this is what I should be doing. I don't love this as an answer either, but people keep pronouncing my name as OK Boomer. I'm an old millennial. Not that old. I feel old lately though. These are unsigned. That was stupid. Yes, hello, cat. Hi. How you doing? Fuzzy boy. Wanna come up? Come on. Jump. Ah, there you are. Good boy. Kitty stream. And you can stay up here right up until the point you stand in front of my code and I can't see anymore, which is right now. Okay, goodbye. Good cat. Go away. Whoa. I made it worse. Alright. Well, I'm going to call it today, even though I've made literally no progress. Getting tired of slamming my head against the wall. I will acquire additional information and then wrap this up next week, hopefully. Uh, yeah, I don't know. It's a real pain in the butt, but I'm sure we'll figure it out eventually. Thanks everyone for coming by. I appreciate it. It's been good to get back into things. I took a break over the Christmas holiday and whatnot, but I will be back next weekend, and I should be doing this every weekend for at least a couple of hours for the foreseeable future. So, like, comment, subscribe, smash that like button, etc. And I hope that you found it entertaining, and I hope to see you again some other day.